As we roll into the second hour for your Wednesday drive home, coming up shortly, very, very shortly. The AFL is heating up, is starting to get into it. The whips are starting to crack practice matches, so there's only one man you go to, and that is Jay-Z Clark. He will be in studio with all the updates. Plus, at the end of the show, Bill, you'll tell us a ripping joke. Mm-hmm. But as I look to my left, the door is opened.
Here he is.
Hit the button, Rabbit.
If it's happening in footy,
Jeepers, have the headlines been coming thick and fast?
this man will be all over it.
Let's get Jay-Z in and talk footy.
On Triple M's Rush Hour,
He's got to try and get back out there.
it's Jay-Z Clark.
Welcome, Jay-Z. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, it's going good today. Haven't you warmed to this role? Did JB, is he feeling nervous about this? But your star is shining, my friend in the host chair. Isn't he going well?
Very
Billy?
well.
But
Better than I thought.
Yes, I've been very impressed with you, Daisy. We've got lots of footy news to
Get
talk
on
about
Mike, yeah.
because we've needed the matches. Let's be honest, the cricket's been a little bit flat for a period. Kyrgios didn't play in the tennis, so we can't wait for the footy to heat up. But can I tell you, Daisy, I've got a reason to believe that Billy is Batman.
Tell me.
The Batman of the southeast Melbourne suburbs, because I got a good friend, Hannah, who was walking along Chapel Street last week, and she was set upon
Wow.
by
Bill.
not by Bill, but another lady who started sort of harassing her and trying to take her belongings. At one stage, she jumped on her back.
Oh.
And then all of a sudden, all she hears is a sort of strong, burly man yell out, "Oi, leave her alone." And she turns around and she sees the great Billy Brownless, or so she has described to me. So it frightened the attacker.
Well done.
And Hannah, my friend, who was off to her fitness class, sort of got a jump on the attacker and then ran away. And she said to say, Billy, that you may have saved her life in Chapel
Billy
Street
Brownless.
last week.
No.
So, Batman, are you saving people's lives in Chapel
Have
Street?
a look at this
No.
No. Bill Chapel Street.
You've got a whole segment on these sorts of saviours. Was that you
You're
or
right.
not?
No.
Congratulations,
But
Bill.
I
That
was
awesome.
walking down Chapel Street last week and couldn't believe how good it was, by the way. Chapel Street is back. We might talk about this. The pubs were
Yes.
just chockers.
Yes.
And there are a couple of ordinary people down there.
Yes.
That are, I don't know, off their head.
Yes.
And
Did you save my friend?
No, I didn't.
You must have.
No.
He's very
you can't
humble.
be-
I
Yes.
said I was going to do something because there was a couple there that were attacking these poor people and they had no idea what was going on. So it's not good. That's the only problem with Chapel Street. We've just got to clean that up and then it's back.
So you're not only saving
No.
my friend, you're saving,
Saving
other people.
others. That's why he wants to
Only
talk
at
about
night
it.
I come
well
out.
done. Anyway.
Jay, this
no.
is a man who said if he saw a shark attack, he'd just look at the horizon and keep walking.
Well, that's different. What are you going to... If there's someone out there in a shark attack, what would you do? You're going to swim out,
You
eh?
would throw them a life jacket or something and just swim the other direction, wouldn't you?
Well, you wouldn't go out there, I wouldn't have thought. You'd go out to your knees and throw something at them.
We can talk about this another time.
Yeah.
Footy news,
Right.
what's going on? We
Yes.
had Zachy Meriden yesterday. We said,
Yes.
how's Jake Stringer going? The question
Yeah.
everyone wants to know, he said he's going great. And then we
Yes.
hear today,
No.
hamstrung.
The injuries are mounting at Essendon, and this is Brad Scott as he tries to sort of bed down a new game plan. And I like the look of the midfield. They're sort of trying to protect that defence a little bit more with a slower ball movement. They're being a little bit more careful out of the back half. When everyone's trying to play quicker, you watch the Bombers be a little bit more cautious. But Jake Stringer just hasn't been able to get a run at it this summer. So I think Brad Scott's plans were to play him largely as a forward, Daisy. So we saw him be one of the best centre clearance players in the back half of 2020 there for a while, but he hasn't been able to get a run at it. It's not just his back, it's his hamstring as well. So he was a very frustrated man leaving the track yesterday. He's been ruled out of the Gold Coast game, which is tomorrow at 5 p.m. up there. And I think that following week's game as well, that Essendon is playing, I think there's a fair chance it's against St Kilda that he won't be in that. In fact, the focus will be on getting him right for that clash against Hawthorn in round one. So Jakey Stringer, we know he's had issues sort of staying in top fitness for his career. I know he ran 10Ks, I think, 2 weeks ago on a Friday session. But there is a big worry. And when you count in also Matt Guelphy out with a soft tissue, Ben Hobbs out there, the youngster for Essendon, Sammy Wiedemann has an interrupted preparation,
Yes,
Peter Wright, James Sardis. There are a few in that casualty ward at the Bombers. So unfortunate for Stringer Bell, who we love to watch.
We do. We'll get a look at them next Friday as
Yes.
we're out there live.
We are.
At Moorabbin.
At Moorabbin, watching
Taking
the
on the
game.
Saints.
You two on specials. I think
We are
Joe
on
is
specials.
calling.
Oh, I've got to go somewhere. But
Yeah,
You
Moorabbin.
might be-
No,
you
no.
will be there.
Hey.
What about the D's?
Yes. So they are...
Big boys.
no, Gawn
Yep.
and Grundy.
It's going to be...
How's it going to work?
It's
You
going to be
tell
the
us
first look. So I think that Maxi Gawn will be playing a fair bit of footy in the ruck and behind the ball. And the plan is for Brodie Grundy to ruck and then push forward. So Jacob Van Rooyen, who's been the youngster and has turned heads all summer, 19 years old. Up forward. So he'll play and most likely take the spot of Ben Brown earlier in the season. But it has been training training has been fierce at Melbourne. And Simon Goodwin, his crew, Alan Richardson, love the way that ruck combination is working out. So I think we'll get the first look at it this weekend. So Melbourne playing a strong side this weekend, and then possibly a younger side they take on Richmond next week.
It'd be interesting. That's what we're all looking forward to seeing.
It'll be good.
Well, it's going to work,
that
isn't
way. It has to work. They're both too good of players to not make it work, and if they figure it out, it could be all time.
We saw at the end of last season Max Gawn start to limp a bit. Like he hurt his groin.
Was beat up.
So he's at the age of 31, he's taken a huge load. He's shouldering a huge load. So the plan is for Brodie Grundy to absorb some of that.
Yep.
And I think if they give the youngsters or their gun midfielders and Petrarca and Oliver an armchair ride, I think they're going to be an absolute a force to beat the D's this year.
Yes, indeed. Just about the Cats, because we want to know who might be the captain there of Geelong, Brisbane and Freo.
Yes.
What kind of side will the Cats have in their first game? Because how's our mate Tomahawk going?
No, he's not going to play. So I think he's going to be back in the first month of the season. And Jack Henry, I believe, will be the man to start.
Oh, going forward.
Yes. So full forward line there with Jeremy Cameron. So that'll be the two. Gary Rowan's also not going to play. Mitch Duncan as well, the veteran midfielder, won't play for the Cats. I think they're playing 8 quarters against the Hawks.
25 minutes, yep.
Yeah, GMHBA
Who's the
Stadium tomorrow night. Well, it's hard to go past danger. I think Tom Stewart potentially could take over in a year or two, but you think the superstar midfielder would be in the box seat for that. What do you think?
Brisbane? Yeah, I'm with you. Danger. Brisbane?
Lockie Neal, I think it could potentially swing against him late. There is a late push, I believe, for Harris Andrews and Hugh McCluggage, potentially as a, if not captain and vice captain, then either as co-captains. Lockie Neal, who I thought, given his superstar midfield prowess, I'm just not certain he will get the player votes that he needs, which is interesting.
Interesting.
Plenty happening, Bill, and there's still plenty more to talk with this man after the break. Plethora of football news, and this man all across everything, been to every club, hiding in trees, doing it all.
He doesn't need to hide, Jay-Z. He just sits there front and centre.
I haven't had a look at St Kilda just yet, but I am looking forward to going down there Friday night. They take on Melbourne, of course, so possibly not a bad place to start their days with St Kilda because they are missing some of their big gun forwards, aren't they? Max King gone with his shoulder. Jack Hayes gone as well. They've had to pick up the new kid, Caminiti, off the through the SPP list. Membry missing as well. So it's going to be a real small ball forward line, isn't it, for the Saints?
Can't work.
Well, they got Mitch Owens there, who's I think 192, who's sort of a mid-size. Josh Battle, who can swing forward as an intercepting defender. But I think they're going to have to really ramp up the forward pressure, apply the tackle pressure, and generate scores in different ways. It's going to be tricky for our man Ross Lyon. I got no doubt they'll be on the right path with him. I think his first year in charge is going to be pretty challenging. What do you expect?
If anyone's up for the challenge, though, to just create something different, come from left field on a forward line or a way the ball goes in, I think you got to just imagine dirty ball going in there. Because if you got the smalls in there, there's no use kicking it long and high. Just kick a mong torp in there, let them go to work, and just hope for the best. And opposition defenders won't know what to do. If you've got talls v smalls, it's the only way you can go about it.
Sydney Swans.
Yes.
Have you heard?
They still play?
Well, yes, they were in the league last year.
They're an intriguing. They are intriguing. They got absolutely belted.
They've gone to ground.
In the grand final. And what does history say, Bill, about teams who get absolutely hammered in the premiership decider? When it's over by quarter time, what does history say about those sides? What's it say?
They'll go no good the next year.
It says the teams that get belted in the grand final take a year to recover.
Yes.
Apparently they take a year to recover.
Oh, you're the best. We saw the Western Bulldogs, didn't we, Daisy? Of course, after copying that last quarter hammering from Melbourne. Struggle last season, just snuck into the finals, of course. So I think the big question around the Swans is going to be the hunger. We know Buddy probably in his last season. We love some of the young kids.
They'll be hungry because they've got kids. They've got good kids coming through. So.
Chatty Warner.
Yes.
Brownlow medal threat. Isaac Kenny. Maybe Luke Parker's played his best. Errol Goulden's one of them. Logan McDonald.
Yeah, there's plenty to like.
who's a
Yes.
Hayward.
a
There's
beautiful
plenty of those
kid.
kids.
Yeah. So I don't think they're going to be dropping off. They have got a tough draw. The Swans.
Who's going to take over Buddy's spot? The young boy that's been there 3 or 4 years?
Logan McDonald.
Yes, McDonald.
Yes.
The one that North Melbourne should have drafted.
Well, anyway, he's
Well,
there at Sydney.
I
So
think James Bradshaw is still a bit dirty
Oh,
on
so
that one.
He's the man to replace
Yeah.
Bud.
Yeah.
Joel Amarty, you'll be all right.
Marty Party.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll be interesting. But I'll tell you what's one of the biggest conundrums in footy at the moment.
Please do.
fellas.
What happened with the Swans, by the way? What? They're not hungry enough, you're saying?
No, that's the question.
Oh, right,
Are they hungry? Do
Right.
they still have the fire in the belly?
Yes.
All
Because
right, but-
history tells us if you get
Yes.
beaten.
It's a year.
Yeah, there you go.
What's the biggest conundrum?
What are the scars? It is where to play Duke's boy Sam Darcy
Oh.
at the Western Bulldogs.
So he's been playing down back,
the whole summer.
and
On Friday, they swung him forward because they've already got Jamari Ugelhagen, Rory Lobb, and Aaron Norton,
Yes.
who marks them like the Duck Wayne Carey, I tell you, at full flight, Aaron Norton. So they've already got the 3 key forwards, but they played Sam Darcy forward, Daisy Bill, and he was outstanding. Like the best forward on the ground, or one of the best players on the ground. So what does Luke Beveridge do? He's got a 4-headed monster, and he could play Sam Darcy back, and he'd intercept, and he'd be great. But if his best position is forward, Daisy, does Rory Lobb keep his spot? Can you play 4 tools in footy these days? What does he do with Sam Darcy?
I think it's an easier sell to have him go to half-back, play slightly out of position, and have Rory Lobb up forward, where you've got him across. There'll be more pressure on him, more expectation for him to fire. I think he fires best when he's playing forward. And if it is second and or third fiddle, we expect Jamara to come on again. We saw some good signs last year, kicking a bag of 6 or 7 at one stage. Behind Air Norton, that's a pretty good forward line. And then if it's not working, you've got the option to tinker it. But I would expect that to be the 3 ball to start with the option of Darcy.
because they've got no key defenders, have they?
Liam Jones,
Liam
Yeah,
Jones has
how's he
come
going,
back.
by the way? He's
he's been solid.
Solid.
I think the
Gardner.
endurance will be the question mark.
Keith.
That's all. Yeah, that's been the
Honest.
knock always. But he plays 90-odd% game time, Liam Jones. Once the ball's there, he doesn't worry about the running. Cone's not so much.
Yeah.
And this is the fascinating thing about
Honest?
the Western Bulldogs.
Love him.
Also, they've changed the way they're defending. So we know that they had their defence was pox. Is that fair?
They're
Daisy?
stopping goals. Is that what the
Yes.
change?
Well, they're offensively,
No,
we
spot
know
on.
they're talented
Yeah.
and can
No,
score.
they leaked.
But they're a bottom 4 defence at times last year. So that watching them, they're completely changing their way. They're making the ground small. They're getting more numbers to the contest. They're kicking sort of up the line and trying to go over the back. So they're making the ground on defence small, Daisy. So they got more protection. I think last year what we saw was a more open field of play, and Josh Dunkley played an important coverage role. But aside from that, Trelaw, McRae, Bontempelli, etc., we're all trying to win the footy and go forward. So I think we're going to see more accountability out of the Western Bulldogs
The
midfield.
coach has been a bit quieter too, I reckon.
And
hasn't he?
more numbers. Yeah. I don't think he said a whole lot. Well, they were disappointed with how it was a poor
Yeah, right.
2022, wasn't they? They played Fremantle in their first final and got bundled out. But if they can defend, Daisy, then the Western Bulldogs
yeah.
Are we thinking
They're a
sort of
chance.
Richmond 2017, that style? Lots of numbers, lots of pressure, kick it long to the contest
Yes.
and belt it out the back. Is that what
Yes.
is that the vision I'm looking
yes. And going quick when they've got it,
Yep.
but then getting to the contest, playing a lot of stoppages it seemed, because they do have stoppage power,
Righto.
don't they? But they do need some coverage behind it. So they watch for the early season games and into practice matches. The Bulldogs are defending differently and more intently.
Speaking of Richmond, their
Yes.
big key forward, big Tommy Lynch.
He's probably the one worry, really, Tom Lynch, because he has been he has had an interrupted summer. I don't think he's going to play in the first practice match against North Melbourne. I think 10 a.m. at Arden Street. So the plan is for him to play minutes the following week and then get to the round 1 game against the blockbuster, of course, against Carlton. So he hasn't had a huge summer, Tommy Lynch, but I think encouragingly for the Tiger Army, we are going to see Tim Taranto and Jacob Homer and the number 4, Dustin Martin,
Oh, yes.
in that clash against North Melbourne on Friday morning. But Tommy Lynch would just be, I think he hasn't had the perfect summer, might be a little bit underdone, and he is important for them.
Righto. Well, we're going into uncharted waters here.
Yes.
Hang around. We're
there's
going for
another
a
one.
third break.
Good.
We
Well,
haven't got through your page.
Well, there's that much footy.
there is. It's good. It's back.
And we need to chat about the Sunday rub, which
Yes.
Jay-Z is a big part of. So he's going to stick around on the rush hour. Triple M.
With JB and Billy.
Bill's joke still to come to wrap up the show, but Jay-Z stuck around to wrap up some more footy news and chat the Sunday rub as well.
He certainly has. North Melbourne. All the
Yes.
North fans out there, we had one on the Hump Day quiz today saying that he hopes it's up because they can't really go down. Where are they?
No, they'll be a lot better, I think, under Alistair Clarkson. The big focus on defensive fundamentals. I don't think there's going to be as many blowouts. So they're going to be in the contest for a lot. I think they could win 6-7 games.
6 or 7 games.
Yeah, I think.
Big number for them.
What's going to be really important in the forward half, we saw big Nick Larkey be forced to shoulder. It's big Suv. He had to do a lot of the work, him and Cam Zurhaar, who didn't probably have his best year. But I think we're going to see Charlie Comben emerge. He's a very exciting prospect, turned heads over summer. And Paul Curtis, not exactly a household name just yet.
Sounds like an actor.
Yes, no, he's not an actor. He's a mid-sized forward who can clunk it. He can do special stuff.
Can he?
Paul Curtis.
Right.
So he's kicking
What about-
goals on angles.
You know he's going to
and-
be good. Griffin Logue.
Yes.
Going to be a very good pickup for them.
Best
Back,
on.
forward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
best on in the first half. But I tell you, he faces a battle to book a round one spot. That's Jaden Stevenson.
Really?
He's
Clarko's
sort
got the
of-
flats on him.
Fell off a skateboard.
He sort of got a few tricks like you, Daisy, but you got some contested ball and that sort of stuff. So maybe you could take him under your wing and try and train him up a little bit potentially. But he's the one who's potentially on the fringe at North Melbourne, which would be a big selection statement from Alistair Clark.
Let's talk about Triple M footy, of course. DSL, when does that start again? Who's on it?
It starts next Saturday with Joey and Kath and myself. I feel like Limo's going to be doing plenty of funny work this year as well. So we're looking forward to that. It all starts in a couple of weeks' time. Coincides with with the official practice matches, Billy. So look forward to that. Hopefully get down to the Grand Prix in a few weeks' time, which will be
and
great.
you're on Sundays, the Sunday Rub.
Yes. And
Who else is on that? We got any new boys on?
well, I feel like Dale Thomas,
Oh,
who is probably one of
hang
the
on.
fastest rising talents in
This is
in
an
the
official
game.
announcement.
Well,
Are you a new addition, are you, Dale?
Oh, well, I'm about to get
Oh.
told, I think, Tony Benz.
I've been told that over the past few weeks you've been so impressive on the rush hour. Am I right, Rabsy?
100%.
That basically move over Ross Lyon and Wayne Carey that you are the man. So I can announce that officially, Daisy.
get
that-
around me.
That you are stepping up on a Sunday.
Well, how good's that? Thank you very much,
What
Dave.
else are you doing, by the way, with Channel 7?
Yeah, I'll be doing some stuff on the boundary for them this year as well. That was announced today as well. So looking forward to
Wow.
that.
And
Anyone else new?
Well, there's another electrifying forward. Someone else who could
Small
also
Jeff Farmer.
kick goals from tight angles. But I'm
Clive
not sure we
Waterhouse.
can let that cat out of the bag just yet. But
Oh.
Oh, the cat out of the bag. I like that. You didn't even do that.
maybe a Norm Smith medalist. Did you win a Norm Smith?
I got
Should
robbed
have.
twice.
Oh, that
Your
was
mate
Pendlebury.
Pendles has still
That's
got it
right.
in his cupboard for me.
How is Pendles, by the way? When you woke up next to him this morning and rolled over.
I believe he's got a major app launching tomorrow, so we might go check out
Is that the function you're going to?
Just check out the keep
what's
an
it
eye on
called?
his socials.
What's it about?
Jay-Z
What's-
app.
Fitness stuff.
Of course it is. And what a man to sell it because he's an Adonis and he's getting younger by the years go by, Bill, which is incredible, Jay. That
Well
was
done.
possibly the most comprehensive sports
is.
wrap
Thank you,
and
Daisy.
footy wrap. Thank you. You're the best in the business for good reason.
Yep.
And well done, Daisy.
We'll catch him next Wednesday
Done, Daisy.
on the Rush Hour and then DSL the following Saturday. Jay-Z Clark
Well
on the
done,
Rush
Jay-Z.
Hour, Triple M.